Hi, everyone. So La Fuerza Community Development is a CDI, which is a community development financial institution. We are certified by the Treasury to do micro lending here on Long Island to small businesses. We like to focus on minority and women-owned small businesses. We provide one-on-one counseling and webinars, or we used to call them seminars. But given the times, we are really just focusing on small business, how to get them through this crisis, and really, especially in tonight's topic, how to get them reopen and to re-engage their clients, right, their customers. So we love the fact that we could just hop on a seminar at any time. Social media, staying connected to everyone. So I hope that you enjoy this evening's presentation. Tammy Savarino is our Development and Marketing Officer, and she has a great presentation for everyone tonight. Tammy?
Thank you, Giovanna, and thank you to the Port Washington Library for hosting this. It is wonderful to be here, and it is such an important topic because at this point we have so many businesses that are looking to find a way to still pivot and stay in front of their customer base even through the closures. So you'll see a lot of restaurants that did not offer takeout or delivery pivoted. They were able to do that. They have on their websites the ability to order, even if it's a scaled down menu, and it's an opportunity for people to stay with the customer base that they know and love so well, and that have known and loved them for whether it's a year or 10 years that they've been in business or more. So one of the things I would like to do with you tonight is I have a small presentation to go over marketing basics. It's going to show you social media and website basics so that you can stay front of mind with the customers that are lifeblood to your business. So I'm just going to share my screen and bring up my PowerPoint for you. Okay, hang on one second. Let me just get into the right mode here. Hang on, and we're gonna do slideshow and play from start. Okay, so what we have, like I said, is marketing and social media basics, the importance of getting online to get in front of your customers. And for many people, the basics come down to what is marketing. In small business, most businesses years ago were used to placing an ad in the Penny Saver, Town Crier, or whatever your local newspaper is. But we have shifted from strictly advertising to marketing. And marketing's the activity and it's the process for being able to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange goods or services with your customers, your clients, and also your partners and the community at large. So it's your outward-facing communication with everybody that your business touches. So, are you marketing? Now, marketing consists of advertising, social media, your website, networking that you would do face-to-face or in these times via Zoom or other technology, and contributing, whether that's information or resources to the community. So for most small businesses, big businesses are doing research, analysis, and planning to plot out what their marketing efforts are. But most small businesses are not doing this type of effort. So it becomes a bit of a shoot from the hip opportunity, and that's what we want to try and change. Some businesses are doing no marketing at all. And because of COVID-19, Many businesses have found that when the governor issued the stay-at-home order from March 18th, they've had no contact whatsoever with their customers, and many are in an absolute panic over whether or not they are going to have their customers coming back through their doors once they are able to reopen. So the idea is, tomorrow Long Island is able to start opening up in phase 1, but the idea is to try and get in front of your customers as regularly as possible from this point forward. We can't go backwards, so everything we're talking about is to move forward. And the idea is to create something for you as business owners that is quick, that's easy, and that's either inexpensive or free. I have an old colleague who used to say free is good, cheap is good, free is better. And so we're going to look at ways for you to maximize with a little bit of sweat equity, getting in front of your current customers and your prospective customers. So hopefully this will not only bring your old customers back, but bring you new customers as well. So your marketing basics on a budget are going to include your social media presence, what your footprint looks like on a variety of social media platforms, your website. And if you don't have a website, we're going to talk about what the website needs to have as a basic, and contributing to the conversation. We'll talk more about that as we go forward. So why social media? Most people think of social media as Facebook, and all they're doing is connecting with people they went to high school with many moons ago. But the truth is that 65% of adults that are online are using some social media platform. 79% of them are on Facebook. 68% of them are on more than one platform. This is all research that Pew did, which they track all of these types of communications all throughout the country and internationally. There are statistics for every last one of the platforms that are on social media, but Facebook is the one that is the most broad-based. Further, while people are stuck at home, people are looking for ways to fill their days. We've all heard about Netflix downloading, and people are on their TVs, they are on their screens, whether it's a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, or a phone. People are on their screens almost 30% more than they were 2 months ago. So you need to be in front of them where they are. So for social media, if you're trying to figure out which platforms should you be on, the question is, who are you trying to reach? So if your customer base is a younger customer base, folks who are in their 30s and younger, you're going to look at Instagram. And right over here, this is the logo for Instagram. That's what you'll find it on App Store, and you'll see it online. It does not have a whole lot to work with when you are on a laptop or a desktop. This is very, very much a mobile device application. Now, if you're targeting other professionals or businesses, LinkedIn is where you want to be. You can use this on any kind of device, including a computer. And this is over here, the in, that is their logo. If you are targeting the general community, Facebook is your top choice, Twitter is your secondary choice. Now, there are some other platforms like Snapchat, which is getting the very young demographic. Pinterest targets women who are primarily at home. That's their number one demographic. They do have others, but that's their key. Those can wait for right now. Your 3 or 4 biggest should be Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. So the most important thing when you do is to get into the platform, whichever one you're going on to, and fill in all the fields when you set up the account. It's a first impression. Just like when someone walks into your store, the ambiance, the visual that they get, that's their first impression of your store. That first hello. When you meet a new customer for the first time, your profile is your first hello. Make sure you use a photo or your company logo. Statistically, if you don't have a picture or a logo up there, people will pass right by your profile. So it's very simple and very easy. You have to put that onto your page and answer all the questions. They're going to ask you things about your operating hours, your address, if there's certain information that people ought to know about you. And then each page on each platform has a website. You can create a web address for each profile. So looking at ABC Pet Shop, I'm a pet owner, so it would look like facebook.com/ABC Pet Shop. And that way you can link that directly to from your website to your Facebook page directly back to your website. Post regularly. People want to see you and you want to be seen by more people. So you can either set a time on your calendar to go on and consistently post. Sites like Facebook will let you schedule your posts. So you can say, I want this one to go on Monday, this one on Tuesday, this one on Wednesday, and even what time of day you want it to go. You'll get a message telling you that your post for Tuesday at 3 o'clock went on. There are also scheduling tools. There's one called Hootsuite. There are several, but Hootsuite's probably the most common. It has a little owl, so you'll know you're on the right site. And it will allow you to schedule across all your social media. If you have a particular post that needs to go across every platform, this will help you do it. And their basic product is free. You can upgrade, but to start, you absolutely have no need to. And you can get all of your platforms scheduled in about 20 minutes once a week. Post valuable content. Social media posts and shares should be interesting, inspirational, and helpful to people. Your customers, your potential customers. If I am searching about information on SBA loans and La Fuerza has a post on that, La Fuerza has now been beneficial to me. I'm going to think of them. I'm going to go back to their site, searching for them as whether or not they come up in my feed. I can search them to see if they have other posts on there. And people will like and follow what you have, and then you will start to come up in their feed more naturally. So try and use images and videos. People are very visual. If you use images, it's going to get more attention, and your videos are going to help you in terms of getting a higher rating by Google in their search engine, their formula that they use. Images and videos will naturally bring you closer to the top. And that's the goal, is to be on the first page. Not too many people click on Google past the first page when they're searching for something. So you want to link your website into the bio. For every single platform, you're going to get a little bio spot, and you want to put your website on there so that people can find you more easily. If you have a particular promotion going, a sale, an article, you want to people can download a free resource that you have. You want to link it right to that specific page on your website, and that's very, very easy to do. And the site will walk you through how to do much of that. Or we can also do follow-up classes to this that will have a little more detail, but this is sort of the broad strokes for you. And that will keep driving people to your website, where they can learn about what they can buy and how they can buy it from you. So use promotions or contests to gain more followers and likes. Particularly on Instagram, you will see this a lot. There'll be, we'll say, all right, pets again, so we're going to say a free leash. So you have a picture of a nice leash and a collar, and those are going to go to one winner. And the way you enter that is to like our page, like this post, and in the comments, you are going to tag 3 friends. Odds on favorite, 1 to 2 of those 3 friends will come to your page and also like you. So it's a way for you to grow your follower base on that particular platform. And on the day that you announce who won the promotion, if let's say 50 people did all the different components to enter the promotion, you can tag every single one of those people. It's going to automatically get them to want to come back to the page, and you wish congratulations to the person who won. Hashtags, we used to call them pound signs on our phone, but now you have hashtags. Hashtags are another way for people to search on any one of the social media website platforms. Instagram, Twitter, and now LinkedIn are using them very, very effectively. Facebook's a little behind on that, but what you would do is you have a picture of somebody using a leash and a collar from your pet shop, And at the bottom of it, it might say dogs of Instagram. It'll say dog supplies. It'll say the name of your store. So it'll say ABC Pet Shop. Each of those, it's hashtag and then the name. And the site will populate as you type to give you all of the different hashtags that come up, and you choose the ones that are effective for you. And people will search by dogs of Instagram, and they will then look at all the different posts there. Or maybe they look up SBA and they would find La Fuerza's posts that way. So it's another way, aside from your business name, to get people to your page, and then after that to your website. And then the other thing is, make sure that if people have questions that they post onto your page, complaints, compliments, whatever feedback they provide you, that you respond quickly. It's going to show what kind of customer service your business offers, and it can only serve to benefit you. So some content suggestions. First of all, your reopen date. So if you are part of phase 3 and you have a date of, where are we now? We're at the end of May. So let's say June 15th is the reopen date. We're really excited to be back open on June 15th. We will have lots to welcome you back with. Product, all different things that you can list in there. So that's relevant. Any special promotions or sales you're going to have. Now, before you open, you want to have policies so that people know what to anticipate when they come into your store. So if you're going to have a sanitizer display, if you are going to be taking temperatures of people before they can sit down and dine, if you're cleaning surfaces with disinfectant, your mask and glove policy, or any other rules that are specific to your particular industry. What it comes down to is that you are trying to keep your staff safe, and you're trying to keep the community safe. And so people are going to know that based on what you post. Let people know what your policies look like related to refunds or cancellations. Dance schools, jiu-jitsu, dojos, all kinds of service-related businesses have been posting what their refund policy might be, because they do an auto debit every month, and people need to know how those dollars are being allocated going forward, because that's relevant to them. Say thank you. Let people know how much you appreciate their business. You can never say thank you enough, as far as I'm concerned. So make sure that you say it here on, how much your client base means to you, your customers mean to you, and that you're looking forward to seeing them when you reopen. Changes to your operating hours, that's a nice easy post, because that's very tactical. It is whatever you're going to have. If you're changing your hours, or even if you're not, let people know. Any changes to how you're going to do business. Retail reopens tomorrow, only with curbside pickup. So let people know they can order online, and then they can pick up by curbside. Asking for suggestions is the only one that I suggest you be careful with, because if you have basically a digital suggestion box, some people may be offended if they make a suggestion and it's one that you cannot implement. If you can't for some reason, you may even privately message that person and let them know why, so that they know that you took their suggestion seriously. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to websites. If you have any questions, I'm going to take those after, and we'll come back to it. But your website's your online home. And Americans have been doing, for more than a decade now, Americans have been doing more and more business year over year. The number goes up online. And this trend has been thrown into high gear based on COVID. So your website is going to let your customers and your potential customers know certain things about you. They're going to know who you are, both who you are as a business and who you are as the people behind that business, what goods and services you offer, your hours of operation, so they know when they can come in, where you are. You can even use Google Maps so that people can see right away how to get to you. Your experience. If you are the only game in town on a particular skill set, or that you have been in, we'll use the pet shop again, you've been in the pet industry for 25 years, tell people that, because then they know that you know your stuff when it comes to cats, dogs, and other pets. Special services. So if you offer custom options, delivery, anything that's outside the norm, put that in there. It's important because it gives you your competitive edge. Any online purchasing. When you set up your website, whether you use a web designer to do that, or if you go to one of your do-it-yourselves like Foursquare, GoDaddy, you can download, you can pay for the name. So you would have www.abcpetshops.com. You pay for that licensure of the name, and they will charge you once a year for that. And you can also set up a website, and there are various levels of amenities within that website, some of which is online purchasing. And it will walk you through putting a shopping cart into your website. And that way, if you have some of your products, whether it's dinner for a restaurant or goods, people can buy it and then they can put it right into their shopping cart and pay for it, much as I'm sure many of you have done on lots of websites over time. They've made the back end much more simplified for a basic website so that you can set one up on your own. All your social media channels should be on that. So it lets you add a little button for Facebook, and then you connect it right to your Facebook page. Same thing with any of the social media channels that you choose to use. And there's a lot more that you can do with your website, but these are the basics. And again, you'll want pictures. If you have video, you'll want to put that on there because again, you want to drive people to that website. And when people are searching, usually on Google, you want to naturally come up. You can pay for ads on Google. You can pay for boosting your posts on social media, but that's sort of for the next lesson. But these are the important things to know for basics on social media and websites. Now, when you do your website, you have to make sure that it is clean, nothing that is overly busy to the eye. If the eye cannot figure out where to look first, that's a problem and people will not return to your site. You don't need to have absolutely everything on your site. You want the components that are going to be relevant to your particular industry and business. So as I said before, photos and if possible video, it will increase your organic search engine optimization. When you hear SEO, that's what people are talking about, and that is how findable you are. Search engine optimization is 100% about you being findable. So you want to have information on how to contact the business. One page on your website should always be your contact page. So it'll allow you to set up a website that's info at, and either you'll check that or you can forward that right to your regular email address so that you can respond to folks who are inquiring about when can I come in, do you have, can I buy, can I get 20 of something? You'll be able to respond to them quickly. You can also set your website up bilingually. You can put it in both English and in Spanish, and there would be a button that people can choose which language is the one that they want to read the website in, and you'd put it in each language, and when they click that button, they will see the version in the language they've chosen. Periodically, put new things on your website, just like anything else. If it's always the same, people will get bored. You want them to keep returning and finding out new and exciting things related to your business. And that's only going to speak to increased revenue for you. So that's an important piece. Let's talk a little about contributing to the conversation. So if you like to write and you have the time to do so, you can consider a blog, which is sort of a video diary. It's a written diary, though, unlike a vlog, which is a video one. So you can connect it right to your website, and you can post each new post. You announce it on your social media. It drives people to your website, and they have an opportunity to read about your latest topic. If writing too much is more than you want to consider, and I know for most people it would be, you can consider writing a periodic article for a local paper, something related to your business, something related to your industry, or even the community, so that people learn who you are within that neighborhood. And if a local media outlet wants to interview you, say yes. It could be what they call a podcast, which is going to be aired on the internet. It could be for a newspaper. It could be for the radio. But say yes. It will position you as an expert in your field. And they'll send you a link after the fact. You can link that right to your website and promote it on your social media and on your website for people to click and take a listen. And be one of the good guys. Right now, we're reading all kinds of wonderful things about people who are getting involved in community events, programs, charities, things that they're trying to do to help people that are really struggling through the COVID pandemic. So when you get involved with the community, you will absolutely, unquestionably, get more out of it than you put in. So aside from feeling good, from doing something good, you will no doubt in my mind, have a return by way of photos or articles that are written about you and the business participating. You will be able to use that to drive more business to your business. And one of the things you should know is that year over year, there is a study done. And there are a couple of outlets that do it, but there's a study done that talks about people's inclinations about how they shop. And every year, more than 85% of Americans say that if they have two businesses to purchase from, and one is known to be involved in the community, they're known for their charitable work, that's the one they're going to shop with. So it will position you as a good guy in the community. And as things start to return to whatever normal is going to look like, you'll be able to do some things more in person. But even today, if there's a way for you to be involved, you should definitely give that some thought. So some tips: be consistent. So you want to build your brand. And so I gave as an example, if you do a Monday morning welcome to the week kind of a post, whether it's a great quote or a picture of a cup of coffee with a welcome, do it every week. You don't want to do it for 2 weeks and then not do it. People will come to know you're going to do that. They're going to look forward to that. Make sure everything you do has a very consistent look. So your website, your social media, brochures and flyers that you do, advertising that you do in the local paper. If you have a logo, use that logo, use the same colors, use similar fonts so that people will start to subconsciously know that all of that relates to your business. So if you think of Disney, you think of Under Armour, you think of Starbucks, they use one logo on absolutely everything that each of those companies does, and it has helped to cement. If you think about Starbucks, for example, a couple of years back, they took the word Starbucks out of their logo because it was so recognizable. So you want your logo to be recognizable to anyone who sees it. So stay consistent. Try and use the same picture or logo in all of your social media and your website, and be very, very sure that your picture is very sharp. It's got to be good and clear, because when it goes up onto your website or onto social media, it tends to blur a bit. So you want a really crisp, clean photo. And that's what I have on the outward, but I am happy to take any questions that you have. And over here you have my email at La Fuerza. And if you have any questions about getting something started, which companies you can create your own website, or which to do for your first platform on social media, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions there as well. But I'm going to take this out and come back over this way.
Okay, we have some questions written down.
Okay, I'm going to just stop sharing the screen and come back on. Okay, so I'm back.
Okay. No real questions, so why don't I just...
I couldn't have answered absolutely everything. Well, and I know it's a lot, and sometimes even thinking about, oh my gosh, building a website, how expensive or how much time is it going to take me? If you think about creating a brochure, it'll probably run you as much time to build one as to build the other. And it will probably run you, each of those companies runs about the same. You can do it for as little as $200 or $300, depending on which of the added amenities you're looking for, like shopping carts and things like that. Can you talk about Facebook advertising? I see one here. Okay, so Facebook will allow you to advertise. They'll call it boosting your post. They'll run all kinds of specials that are $5, $10, price point like that. And you can set an amount that you're not willing to spend more than, let's say, $25. When you get close to that much being spent, and it has to do with the number of clicks. That's what they call pay per click. So if you are getting near that, they'll tell you you've spent $21 of your $25. Would you like to add to it? You can choose yes or no. If you know you have a big sale coming up, you may want to say yes. Things like what they call boosting a post, it will expand where that's going. So you might say you want it all within a particular zip code. You want to keep it to Port Washington zip code. Or you might say you want it to go to, we'll use the pet shop again, you want it to go to people who are part of pet groups. And it will populate onto their feed. You will start coming up on their feed for a certain window of time. So it's a very inexpensive way to do a directed ad to a particular population, whether that's, like I said, by zip code or by an area of interest. You can also do things where if someone looked at something on your site, let's say you sell shoes and someone looked at a pair of shoes, that pair of shoes will now start populating on the side of their Facebook page. It'll also start coming up in the middle of their Instagram feed. Those types are a little bit more expensive and they're a little bit more advanced. Many small businesses, if they go that route, will use a small marketing firm to take care of that kind of advertising. So really boosting posts and doing pay-per-click, those are going to be the two most basic and most used small business advertising that you will see on Facebook.
Okay. What do you think of Wix?
Wix is not bad. I just finished building on Foursquare for a client. GoDaddy, which used to have the top ratings, is now considered third. Foursquare and Wix are side by side in feedback from current customers. So it's not a bad site to give some thought to. You will be able to do probably the most basic will run you about $250, including securing your domain name, which is your web address, for the first year, and building out that website. And you have to know whatever your price point is, they're going to renew that once a year. So you'll be paying that again next year, but that's a big piece of your advertising, is having that website. So it's a good site to consider. Before you consider any site, if you're a couponer or you're someone who looks for promo codes, go onto Google and look up Wix promo code, because you will likely find 5 or 10% off your first year.
Okay.
Save you a few dollars.
How about stories on Instagram?
Yes, stories is another way. You can either post into your feed or post onto stories. People either love or hate stories, and Facebook has them now as well. It goes on and it comes off 24 hours later. So it depends what your purpose is. If you're putting up information about a sale, you may very well want that on your feed, because then if I go look at your site, your page rather, I'm going to find that sale there. But if it's on your story, all your followers are going to get notified of it that day, but 24 hours later, it's gone. For the extra 2 minutes it would take, you can actually put it on both. So it's not a bad way. It's an added push right to your followers, but much where Snapchat goes away in 30 seconds, stories go away in a day.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Would you recommend a solo practitioner to have a website page for testimonials?
yeah, actually I would. I'm the biggest slug. I haven't done my own because I do others. But it is a good way. You don't need a big website. You can get the most basics because most basic of offerings, whether it's from Wix or Foursquare or GoDaddy or any of the others, because basically what you need is an online brochure, something with your logo, with your services, how to get a hold of you and what people think of you. Or even if you don't do it as a testimonial, you can even do something that lists some of our past clients include. And it's a great tool for people to be able to find you. If you decide to go for a minority or women-owned business or veteran-owned business certification, having that website will be important as well, because they're going to promote you out into the marketplace throughout the state. And that's how people are going to find you after that. So yes, I would absolutely encourage it.
Okay. Another question.
Sure.
WordPress for website platform? What about hooking up with a designer for a logo on Fiverr?
I know a lot of folks who have had great success with a couple of sites like Fiverr. You put it out to bid, you get a couple of rounds of edits. If the first round that they send you is just so off base from what you had in your head, you can tell them that, but as much detail as you can give them is great. God bless you. So if you go with one of those websites, you can do that. Right now, it's also not a bad thing to get referrals for someone who's local, because our local folks are hurting. So to do something with someone who's right here on the island would also be great. You have some folks who can do amazing logo design, they can do website design, and they're going to get it clean and sharp for you without it being very expensive, because it's going to be a smaller site. WordPress is a good back end. It's pretty user friendly. So when you want to go in and change things, it's reasonable to work with it. It's not written in techie gobbledygook. So.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? No. Okay.
Really? Okay. Well, so what I'd like to just put out there is give thought to, you want to be findable now. A lot of businesses have been talking over the last, how long have we been locked in? About 60 or so days, 70 days. They're talking about pivoting. But if you don't have a footprint anywhere other than your physical business, you don't have a means to pivot. If you have social media, if you have a website, you have another way to reach out and connect with these folks. And the bonus piece of it is that you will also have a way to reach new customers. So it's really, it's so vital. And I think after all of this is over and people have left their homes and they're back out and about in the community doing their thing, whether it's shopping or getting a service, this is going to still be a trend going forward. And quite honestly, whether or not, I don't know if we'll have a second wave of this. If we do, you'd be prepared. So the idea, you couldn't, if you didn't have it 70 days ago, you cannot go back and change that. But from this moment forward, you can, and you can be prepared for whatever comes next, whether it's COVID or anything else. So that will hopefully help you and keep you going.
I think we have 2 more questions.
Oh, sure. Have at it.
Your contact information.
Oh, sure. It's Tammy at La Fuerza, which is LaFuerza CDC, which is like Charles David Charles,
Oh, you know what? Let me type that in.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
The Tammy at La Fuerza, FUE.
Correct. RZACDC.org.
Okay. And another question, should I maintain a wall between my Facebook personal side and my LinkedIn professional side?
That is a very good question, and one that I hear a lot. Some people keep a very, very sharp line between them. They do not cross. And some people, if you provide a service, for example, where the customer is buying into you, then who you are on the whole helps them to determine yes or no. So in that regard, your business and your personal kind of mesh. I would recommend whatever your political leanings are, don't post them. Because it can't benefit you one way or the other. So stay neutral on that if people are going to look for you for business purposes. And as far as LinkedIn is concerned, if you have a business name, then set up a business profile. It can be separate and apart from your personal profile. Over on Facebook, you can make the decision whether or not you keep your profile somewhat private, so that only your friends can see it and friends of your friends, or whatever population you want to restrict it to. And that way, if you're posting your dog and your friends and your day at the beach, you can. If you're someone who posts all of your food when you go out to dinner, you can, and it stays separate. But again, if there's a business, set up a profile for the business separate and apart from the one that you have. But it is a personal decision. So it's not, there's not a right or wrong. It has to be right for you.
Okay.
Any others? I'm going to take a sip of water.
Okay, well, if that's it, as I said, we recorded this.
Great.
Tammy, thank you very much. It was very informational, and I hope, if anyone does have questions, your information is there.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. I hope it was helpful. And I hope when you hang up with Zoom that you're heading over to a platform to start taking a look at what setting up a profile looks like. But it's not hard. And once you get the first one done, you're going to be excited to move on to other platforms.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.